Hi guys, it's Jate with spiritsvessel.com and the Spirits Vessel YouTube channel, and I'm doing a weekly, not astrology, a tarot reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And if you're cross-watching because you have a fellow Libra person in your life, well then this is the place to do that at. And I'm just kind of tuning into Libra's energy. The air signs, so far, it's been kind of scattered. I'm feeling like Libra's the least scattered out of the three. If you have any Libra that's at 22 degrees or near there, this full moon energy is going to be trining, so it's flowing energy. So basically the moon is going to be communicating with whatever Libra planets that you have. And this full moon is in Aquarius. So Aquarius energy is being in touch with the collective, having kind of ideas kind of come out of nowhere, because Aquarius is a very inventive sign. It's kind of Einsteinian, Einstein is like very Aquarius energy. And it's very forward thinking. It's very progressive. Don't be surprised if this is a very highly creative time for you. Full moon energy is also time to get very clear on what was previously in the dark. So that's what full moons do. They illuminate the night. Jeez. So if you guys have been feeling kind of unfocused, unclear, maybe not really, maybe kind of lacking direction because you're being indecisive, which is something that Libras do. You guys can kind of be indecisive. Don't be surprised if you have some really cool insights this week. And that full moon's on the 15th. So let's see what oracle card comes up for you guys. Nothing's really popping out. So far, I'm feeling like this real nice patience with you guys, which is pretty cool. Okay. The 30 card in the Santa Muerte deck. So the Santa Muerte deck is broken up into 4 different sections, all based off the Kabbalah. And the last 8 cards in the deck, so 25 through 32, all have to do with action. And 30 is a great card to get because 30 is the card of realization. So you guys have accomplished something very big. And you've been working really hard for it. And if you look at that flower that's on her forehead, that's what's blooming for you guys right now. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. You know what I mean? That's the seed that you planted. And, that's the thing about realization. It's one of those things where you don't even realize how far you've come until you complete it and you're looking at it and you're like, wow, I did that. That's really intense. And also the 30 is a 3 in numerology. So, you guys, because you completed something and you're feeling very accomplished, you might feel like you're kind of getting in a teaching role about it. Maybe people are coming to you now for advice because they're starting to see that you know more than they thought that you did. And I think that's a really good thing. I think Libras sometimes take a step back because they're always trying to balance things and be harmonious and they don't want to step on any toes. But a lot of Libras are very creative. They're very creative. And they're a cardinal sign. So they actually make pretty effective leaders and can initiate things very well when they want to. And, I kind of want to go back to the symbolism in this card, because if you look at it, she's holding on to this flower and the stem is leading up to this point here. So, it's kind of like when your crown chakra gets blown open. It's this illumination process. And so that's kind of what happens when we start to get recognition. We start to realize what it is that we've done, what impact the action that we've taken is making on the planet. It's sort of like a flower that opens up in our minds. It finally bloomed. Whatever was blocking you guys, whatever limiting beliefs were blocking you guys, I think it's finally come to pass. And I think that's really cool. Now, the 30 is not quite at the 32 yet, so you're still it's kind of like it's Christmas Eve and the presents are waiting. That's where you guys are at right now. It's sort of like if you had like a art gallery, like you finished all the art already and you're basically just waiting for the day. You're waiting for the day when everyone comes to see your art. That's kind of like what's going on. Like everything's pretty much finished and now you're just sort of in this waiting process to finish the deal or get paid for it or something along the lines of that. But you guys should be very proud of how far you've come. I think it's making me kind of happy because when I was doing the Aquarius and the Gemini reading, it was a little heavy, a little scattered, and they were going through more of a like kind of death process, kind of like an illumination process in a different way. Gemini was going to the depths. Aquarius was kind of in the fog, and you guys are having your illumination process because you guys finished something really big, and that's where that's coming from. So let's kind of like tune in here and see what's going on with that. And I'm using the Wild Unknown tarot deck to get some more information about what's going on with that oracle card. So here's the big thing. Here's the big thing that you guys have completed. It was a karmic cycle. Whenever this card wants to zoom in, maybe it won't zoom in. Oh, there it goes. Judgment. Yeah. It's interesting. Now I'm kind of feeling like, again, that card's coming in reverse. So it's an internal alchemy. This might be a feeling you guys got that you accomplished something big. Like, let's say there's a certain predictable way you react when maybe faced with rejection or maybe faced with someone that you don't agree with. There's a psychological trigger you guys go into. Maybe there's some sort of issues that you have with your mom or your dad, something along the lines of that. And I think you have been experiencing lately that the same things that used to trigger you don't anymore. And I think you're taking a step back and being like, whoa, like I remember dreaming of when I could get to this state and I didn't even realize I was in it until I just realized I was in it. That's the kind of big things you guys are going through. And I think that other people are starting to recognize your confidence. And they're like, whoa, you normally don't act that way. Like, what's going on with you? Like, what have you been taking? And I think you're kind of like, I guess I just grew up. So interesting. And Temperance coming in reverse. So that's a card of Sagittarius. It's a card of balance. It's a card of quiet strength, patience. And no wonder when I tuned into you guys, that's what it felt like. Just this nice calmness. very balanced, very harmonious. And the moon coming in reverse. So just like the other air signs, there is a lack of clarity going on right now. I think because of all this fire energy that we have going on. It is, air and fire make boom boom. So it could be very explosive. And when you have that much energy, it can make things very unclear. And especially since we have this full moon coming up. Full moon periods during the waxing, full moon, and the waning phase. We're in a full moon. The full moon lasts like one day, but really, well, about 2 or 3 days. But really, we're feeling it the entire week because the few days leading up to the full moon, we're feeling it. Then the couple days the moon is full, we're feeling it. And then the waning phase, we're feeling it. And so I think there's just like a lot of stuff coming up. And this is why this is such a big time for you guys, because you can feel the stuff coming up. It's almost like the universe keeps putting people into your life to trigger you, and you're untriggerable. You're untriggerable at this point. But still, like the other fire signs, there's just not a lot of forward momentum because of the lack of clarity. There's a lot of passion, enthusiasm, ideas. Nothing's really grounded yet. It's like a live wire. It's like a live wire that's just like going around all over the place, and like you're trying to stabilize it and you're having a hard time doing that. And at the same time, I think there's a part of you guys that kind of understand that, it'll pass. Things will get clear very soon. And if you don't know that, well, now you do. And having the moon coming in reverse, sometimes it can be a lack of clarity, but also, it's a very intuitive, psychic card. So pay attention to that too. Pay attention to what your intuition's telling you, what your impulses are telling you, because we're in Leo season, and Leo lives by the heart, lives by impulse. Fire signs do that. Fire energy is very, very intuitive, very much like it gets this random like just urge to do something. I can't even say it's a thought because it's not a thought. It's just an impulse, and it's a very visceral thing. That's how fire signs live their lives, which drives a lot of people crazy if you're not a fire sign. Okay, Father of Swords coming in reverse. So all these cards so far, first of all, you have 3 major arcana cards. So karmic cycle you guys are going through right now. Major arcanas are always karmic. And Father of Swords coming in reverse, I believe that's you. There is a mastery of your thoughts. Again, it's like what I was saying before. I think you guys are doing things that normally you wouldn't have done in the past. I think things that used to trigger you are not bothering you anymore. I think you're really at a state of peace, and it feels like it happened overnight, but it didn't. You guys have been working towards this for a while. And I think this is all good stuff. Here's another one. Balance. 2 of Pentacles. And I like this card because it's a butterfly too. So, when I was doing the Gemini reading, they were in the cocoon. They were the goop in the cocoon. And you guys have, you're not in the cocoon anymore. You're out of it. And not only are you out of it, but you're very balanced. And all the cards so far are reversed. So this is all energy that you guys are feeling internally. Another reverse card, Mother of Swords. There's really a balancing out of the female and male energies. There's a mastery going on. There's a maturity going on. There's an attention to detail and attention to what people are saying and doing. And I think I think you guys are really starting to value yourselves more. It's the same thing like with Gemini. Gemini was starting to pay attention to not fighting the paying attention to details, and just paying attention to details, because If you have a sentence and you miss a comma, it can throw the whole sentence off. And people can be like that. People, they can say a lot of things that they think is the truth, or they have an idea of who they are. But really, when it comes down to their work or what they're doing out in the world, they're not who they think that they are. It's not it's not a judgment. They're just not there yet, but they're talking a big game. I think you guys are very aware of this, and also aware of your own energy, of your own capacity to do the same thing, of talking and not doing. And it's interesting how these three cards, these are how these three cards are lining up here. You know, that two of pentacles is in the middle, and then you've got the father of cups and the mother of cups. So there's some sort of balancing going on with your thinking. There's definitely a balancing going on with your thinking. And like I said, this all feels very much like just being very grounded in yourself, which I'd like to see. This is the only card that's come in upright so far. So Five of Pentacles in reverse. Perhaps there's some money issues. I'm thinking that these are money issues. I don't think you guys are completely destitute, but I think you just wish you had more money. And I think because you guys are working so damn hard, that's a little frustrating. It's like, well, when am I going to get mine? Soon. Soon, soon, soon. Because here's the thing. Whether or not you're getting recognition in your career, like moving up in your career, I think this could be happening with a lot of you guys where, these projects that you're doing are finally like taking off. And I think that's one part of it. I think another part of the Libras out there, they're just going through this process of self-awareness, which makes sense because we're in Leo season, and Leo season is all about the self. And I think you guys are really embodying who you are in a way that you haven't done in a very long time. And money is energy. So for those of you out there that have completed a project and are waiting for your payment, don't worry, it's coming. And for those of you out there who this doesn't really apply to that, like you guys don't really have any creative projects going on, you're not really in the wait in that regard, money's energy. So once you get rid of these emotional hangups or these limiting beliefs or these blocks, money starts to flow in. It's really stupid the way it works. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say stupid, but a lot of us don't understand this is how it works. If you think money is a struggle and money is hard to come by, then that's exactly what's going to happen. That's just how it is. Look into Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. He talks about this, but basically, like 95% of the time people are going throughout their daily life completely unconscious. Their subconscious mind's driving all of their behavior. So what is floating around in your subconscious mind? What did your parents think about money? What did your friends think about money? Here's a good way to figure out, where your money mindset is. You take the average of your 5 friends and what their income is. And that's going to be what your income is. If your friends are broke, you're going to be broke. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And I felt like I needed to say that. I think, I think that's where a lot of this grief is coming from. There's just a lot of bills, a lot of antsiness about that. But you start to change your thinking about this now, and you'll see the results of it sooner than you think. 3 of Swords coming in reverse. Again, I really do think this is a money issue. This is just a whole lot of like lack. There's a whole lot of you that are just feeling like you are in a lack phase right now. I've been working so hard and I still lack. And at the same time, there's this patience and calmness. So it's not like it's a dominating thing. It's just kind of, it's just kind of one of those things where it's frustrating. It's just frustrating energy. And here you go. Five of Swords. Gemini got this same card. So fives in, that's 2 5 cards that we got, going through a bit of a grieving period. It's kind of interesting because, I think kind of what I'm feeling from this is that, externally, it's almost like you have this sense of peace and calmness, but externally things are kind of chaotic and there's a lot of things that should be bothering you more than they do. Or that's what you think, that this should bother you more. And if some of you out there are like, man, am I like a sociopath or something because this isn't really affecting me all that much and I think that it should, don't even go there. Like you guys are doing fine. You guys are emotionally healthy unless some of you are sociopaths. And then again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not diagnosing anyone here. But I think that maybe externally, and this could be because a lot of you are comparing yourselves to other people and thinking that things should be a certain way. I should be making this amount of money. I should be in this relationship. I should be going to this school. I think that that's really ringing in for me, that some of you Libras out there are doing that, and you can really ruin this sense of peace that you guys are starting to really embody in a big way. And I would really warn to not go back to those old ways of thinking. And that might be hard because you might have people in your life that are bringing you back to those old ways of thinking, and family members that are bringing you back to those old ways of thinking. And they're like, why are you so happy? And why are you so positive? Like, like you've got, like, don't you know you can't have fun until you do your chores? You've got to clean that yard. And I just would kind of stick your fingers in your ears and not listen to them. But, like I said, you've got some really powerful cards in this spread, especially that Temperance. That Temperance card is very, very balanced and peaceful. So I think the little bit of grief, the little bit of anxiety that you guys have, it's not overwhelming. It's just annoying. And here's another card coming in reverse, the Three of Wands. So, what I'm feeling from this, and this is kind of what I was feeling with other air signs too, and I kind of feel like this is what's going on as a collective right now, especially with this full moon. There is a inner conflict going on between ourselves, how that relates to the tribe. How can we be ourselves and still be a part of the tribe? And then how can we be ourselves, be a part of the tribe, and then also break free from this sort of collective limitation, this societal structure, the way things have always been done for God knows how long. All that stuff is going on right now, and a lot of people are they're really fighting emerging into who they are because they don't want to upset people. Because sometimes people can project onto you and they want you to play a certain role. And this card is a really good card because it's a 3. And a 3, if normally this card comes in like this. Well, the triangle upside down like that is the feminine principle. It's receptive. So I think you guys are really, really taking time, really being patient. Instead of going out and taking action, you're just being very calm, very patient, letting things come to you. And because this is coming in reverse, this is just something that is just felt inwardly. And also the Three of Wands, it's a card that comes up when you really need to start going it alone and start relying on yourself a little bit more. It might be kind of hard for a Libra because, you guys are always trying to balance things out, but I don't think this is a time to do that. Not while we're in Leo season. When we get back into Libra season, if you want to, once you've kind of figured yourself out a little bit more, and then how you can be yourself yet still keep the peace, then you can go back and figure that out. But I think right now, this is just a time for you guys to really go inward. And you are doing that. And I think, I'm really feeling this for a lot of people, that this month is there's just so much fire energy. It's hard because there's so many new opportunities, and it was like a pressure valve got released in July. And so now there's just this high-powered hose that's just spraying all over the place in terms of like energy. And July really cleaned us out. And now there's just all this crazy rush of water that's clearing up all the debris in the hose. And it's sort of like what we're going through now. And which is why I'm warning people that, do what you can this month, talk about ideas, definitely get started on different projects. But Virgo season is when things are going to start to slow down a little bit more, and we can start to really get some clarity and really, take some real, grounded action. And so I would say, just sort of hold out until then, really use this time to get back in touch with yourself. And I think overall, like I said, I just don't really, this Five of Pentacles here, I really just don't think it's that big of a deal. And I don't think you guys think it's that big of a deal either. And maybe that's weirding you out. But don't be weirded out. I was going to say something else too. Oh yeah. So, Jupiter just got out of retrograde today. And that's always a really good sign too. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it's hard, not to say you don't get abundance and blessings and good luck and all that when Jupiter goes retrograde, but it's more inward work. It's more, like this Judgment card in reverse. This would be a Jupiter blessing. This is like something that's felt. You might not have won that car, but you don't ever have to deal with that toxic relationship ever again. And so, for some people, that's a bigger blessing than winning a new car, So it just depends on how you look at it. So with that said, that is the Libra reading for this week. If you feel like that resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. I will be posting weekly readings every week, right? And if you are into astrology readings, I will be posting an astrological analysis of the full moon tomorrow. And I have some astrology articles on my website. And if you'd like a personal tarot reading, you can schedule one on my website, spiritsvessel.com, and I will link that down below in the description box. So anyways, to my lovely Libras, hang in there. You don't need to tell me that because I think you guys pretty much have it covered. And don't worry, your blessings are coming. Okay, with that said, peace. Have a good one.